What I did was I took the word Herbalife and I put each word under each letter under each other right down the page, Herbalife. And then I took each letter and just sort of quickly thought of what that letter might inspire me in terms of a word that would be meaningful in this dynamic Herbalife success story. And of course the first letter was H, and I quickly put down health and happiness. Herbalife deals in both, better health, getting your health in order. Fortunately, my mother taught me good health practices way back that have served me well all these years. My father lived to be 93. I'm following along. I know what good health is all about, and I know of people all around me that haven't had that kind of unique health and vitality, and they've misused and abused and haven't followed good guidelines. But fortunately, I got them early and followed them all these years. And then along comes Herbalife products, like frosting on the cake for me, that gives me this incredible energy of, traveling the whole world, telling my story, and sharing ideas with all of you. So I know what the health means. The happiness, a chance to participate in something extraordinary. There's personal happiness and marriage happiness and family happiness and happiness being a father, being a mother. There's happiness with good friends, but there's also the unique happiness of belonging to a remarkable family, because this is sort of a business social family that we belong to, Herbalife. In fact, when Mark got the company started, when he signed a distributor, he would say, "Welcome to the family." And of course, it seemed more like a family back then, right? Because there was just a few, the 10s and 40 and 50, and then 100 and 150. And so it was a family. But now, truly, it still is an international family of colors and sights and sounds and language and dress and style. It's unbelievable. It's still uniquely a family, because when people become part of Herbalife, they have this family kind of feeling that they belong to something unique, and that creates extraordinary happiness. But happiness is too big a subject to cover here. We'll talk about it in some other session. But those are pretty good words associated with the letter H, health and happiness. And I must give you these quickly because I don't have that much time. The E letter I wrote down quickly, energy. Energy, of course, from better health, energy from these unique products. And we even have a unique product called NRG, energy. But the energy that comes from good nutrition, the energy that comes from following your dreams, the energy that comes from challenge, right? Where you really gear up, get the juices flowing because you've got a challenge to accomplish, you've got a job to do, that kind of energy. Mark has had this restless kind of unbelievable, powerful energy that has served him so well all of these years. I know part of it's the product story, but some of it I'm sure he must have inherited. This remarkable energy that never seems to dissipate. It's remarkable. The next E word I had was education. Herbalife spends more time training than any company I know. We have a 3 or 4 day extravaganza. Most all of those days are training. Ideas, information, giving people ways, means. Here's a bit more refinement, a bit more refinement. Herbalife distributors, I promise you, have become the best educated in terms of business practices, network marketing, the best educated when it comes to, how to operate, how to work with people, develop those skills, that kind of education. It is beyond belief. Part of my role all these years has been to help people with their accelerated educational program to invest not only in their business, but to invest in their personal lives. And the greatest compliment I get back is, Mr. Owen, your ideas have helped my accelerated educational program. Look what's happened to my business. Look what's happened to my life. I'm excited about my part in this. Let me finish here. The R of Herbalife, I put reliable. Old Faithful now. We're not as old as General Motors, and we're not as old as, some of the old line companies. But 20 years. is now gathering some maturity. You know, we're past the teenage years in Herbalife. Isn't 20 years like close to a generation? It is 2 decades, 20 years. So maybe old reliable is stretching it just a little bit. Uniquely reliable over a good span of time, 20 years. That says something. And another R, I put reassurance. Everybody needs to be reassured that they've made wise decisions, that they're on track for future success, and that they've become a part of something that's going to be ongoing and is not only going to gather up information from the past, but invest it in the future and get better and better as the years unfold. Reassurance. The B, I had a unique word called basics. Nobody teaches the basics or uses them better than Herbalife. The basics of good nutrition, the basics of a marketing system, and of course my role is teaching the basics of personal development. For things to change, you've got to change. For things to get better, you've got to get better. The basics of what makes a good community, the basics of what makes a good personality, the basics. And there's just a few. Anybody can learn the basics, the fundamentals. Be a little suspicious if someone says we got a new fundamental. Say, no, fundamentals are old. If somebody says, you know, we're manufacturing antiques, I mean, you got to be a little suspicious. But the basics of how the business works, how to build a mega million, now multi-billion dollar company like Herbalife, the basics. Mark's practiced them flawlessly. And I'm telling you, he can teach it for you, whether you have just a little business around your home or whether you want to do business around the world. The basics of being an entrepreneur, a chance to be a world-class entrepreneur following Herbalife's basics. Not having the burdens of the corporate structure, but being an entrepreneur in your own right. Basics. There's basics of philosophy. Haven't got time to go into all of them. Here was the A in the Herbalife, action. Right from the beginning, Mark took action, followed through, did the deal. And he's been teaching high activity ever since. You know, if you want the reward, you must do the work. You got to see the people. You've got to tell the story. You've got to conduct the meetings. Taking action. I teach action is the final step of the 3 magic steps to produce reality, tangible reality. First is imagination, which is so powerful it's almost real. Second is faith, which is so close to real it's unbelievable. Third is putting imagination and faith to work, muscle, action. And then the action builds the hotel. The action builds the product. The action finds a polio vaccine. The action builds a career. The action constructs a cathedral, right? The action builds good health. That final word, action, is responsible for all reality. I also put another word for the A, and that was answers. The whole world is looking for answers. Herbalife's got a long list. Be a good idea, a little formula for you to try sometime is to say, here's what the world's looking for, and how many answers have we got to what the world and the individuals and the people are looking for? How many answers have we got? You'd be surprised, the list over here on the Herbalife side. The L, of course, is love. There are many virtues and many values, the prophet said, but the greatest is love. I describe it in one way, one person caring for another. That's the most extraordinary life value there is. And we find a lot of that in Herbalife, right? Distributors caring for customers, distributors caring for distributors, leaders caring for supporters, a unique leader caring for the organization. This whole caring expressed L, love. Then I wrote down lecture, and that's what Herbalife's all about, teaching, training, lecturing, giving information. I also wrote down an L word called light, helping people to see the light. They've been in the dark, didn't know, now they see. I, in the Herbalife, I had income, insight, individual. When you first hear the product story, you could go share that story with someone the same day. by selling someone on future results. I've just found this product. I think I'm going to get fantastic results. Would you like to have it too? The same day. I found an opportunity that I think is going to revolutionize my future income. Would you like to try it when I try it? I mean, the same day you hear it, you can sell it. That's an extraordinary kickstart if you want your income to change. Next is insight. And this is where Herbalife excels. Insight into human nature. We deal with such a wide variety of personalities. Mark's got the biggest challenge, handling the chairman's club and handling the president's team, getting them to work together. It is a seemingly impossible task because there's egos and there's personalities and there's all this together, which is part of the human drama. But the insight of how to make all of that work in spite of all the differences, there's plenty of things in common to forge a team, to build a fortune and a story. That's insight. Then the emphasis, is on the individual. Each person telling the story, each person passing it on, each person becoming better each day, each person growing, each person developing skills. That's what makes Herbalife so powerful, each person. Not the individual disappearing, but the individual making a contribution. For the F in Herbalife, I had famous. Fame is good because it inspires. Fame, not just to be unduly proud, but fame that reaches, fame that gives an extraordinary, larger-than-life testimonial. It gives a worldwide testimonial. Fame is important, not just for fame, but for fame as a beacon light. Fame that says, hey, it can be done. Fame that says, look what a few extraordinary people can start and look what they can finally accomplish after the first 20 years. That kind of fame. It's inspiring, it's reassuring, it's incredible. Now the last E in Herbalife, the first one was energy and education. My last E to finish today was everyone. Here's what's exciting about the Herbalife journey. We don't need to leave anyone behind. We've got a place for everybody. Lydia Colon has a unique story. She didn't have the money to get started. 60 cents she invested in her distributorship. Now she's president's team, single mother with 2 children. But Lydia went and told the Herbalife story and got a customer to give her the money to go get the customer's product. And here's what Lydia told that first customer. If I bring you your product using your money, I will make a small profit. And if I do that often enough, I will have enough profit to buy the product for myself and my children. Wow. That is a dynamic story that says we don't need to leave anybody out.